I don't have this listed on our sheet here. The next thing I have is stuff about Arizona and Texas and Mississippi, but I do want to get your thoughts on what we're seeing with Diem right now. So Meta, formerly known as Facebook, recently announced the sale of Diem, which was originally called Libra. Man, so you got it was Libra when Facebook owned it, and then they switched to Diem, and then Facebook rebranded to Meta. So, anyways, Meta's Diem, they're officially selling it. Diem was their attempt at creating a stable coin. It was supposed to be pegged to the US dollar, and it just got so much pushback, not only from the public, but also from regulatory bodies. Nobody trusts Mark Zuckerberg. Nobody trusts Meta. And so when they said we're going to roll out our own stable coin that you could use in our own apps, people are like, that's probably not a great idea. So they're officially selling it. But here's the thing, Brandon. They're going to, obviously the metaverse is going to include like NFTs and that kind of shit. And they're going to need some kind of token to buy those NFTs or to do whatever. I'm going to this concert in the metaverse, or I'm going to buy real estate in the metaverse. They're going to want some kind of token, right? What are they going to use, do you think? My bet is obviously on something like Ethereum, but I don't know. Do you have any thoughts? It's pretty clear that regulators aren't going to let them have their own, so they're going to have to adopt something. We saw Jack come out and tell them they should focus more on Bitcoin. Do you think that they'll heed Jack's advice or no?
To be honest, I don't think so, but I think like they might get to the point where they have to. So, we've kind of talked about this on our stock stuff with our pal Young Money Cap. Today is actually a perfect day to talk about this because Facebook's earnings come out. They got crushed again, and they're talking about, they're blaming Apple for basically making their privacy a little bit better on their iPhones and things like that. So, Facebook can't scrape that metadata. So, but companies like Google and the other FANG stocks didn't really seem to have a problem. But hey, that's neither here nor there. I didn't write their earnings report. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of things going back and forth about Facebook today. I think that they'll have to, like you said, implement Bitcoin as the payment system, but essentially like this whole metaverse thing, they're going all in. And if, there's other companies that are getting into it. I know our friend Young Money Cap has pointed out, Microsoft is building towards it and Apple is too. But, at the end of the day, those two companies have other things to fall back on. Facebook is seemingly getting deep into this, and they essentially, are losing so much ad revenue from Apple increasing their privacy that they're basically just banking it all on the fact that in the metaverse you can go walk around, and then they could just put billboards or what have you everywhere full of ads, and that's where they're gonna make money because they could just strictly monetize that. They have no middleman and they're eliminating that. But that also guarantees that, or banks on the fact that a lot of people are going to be hanging out in the metaverse, sitting around and doing all this stuff, working in the metaverse, doing something like that. And so, we've talked about this almost ad nauseum as how we don't believe in the metaverse. All these big companies keep getting into it. I just think like this is just kind of pointing out the fact that, okay, Facebook has a chink in the armor and nobody trusts them. And it's start of the demise of Facebook, in my opinion, with this quarterly earnings call. I think, if I was a Facebook holder, I'd be very worried. I'm not, obviously not financial advice, and I could be very wrong about it. But I think that, this whole metaverse thing and whether or not what to use in the payment system, NFTs in there, what have you, like at the end of the day, people are going to have to hang out in there. They're going to have to want to buy things in there. They're going to have to want to, purchase real estate, do whatever, do all that kind of things. And, at the end of the day, I think people just want to go outside and have a conversation, hang out with people. I don't think that that's lost. I'm down here in Florida and you're in Tennessee where things are fairly open. So I know, there's still shutdowns going on across the world. And that's unfortunate, but maybe the metaverse will work better in those places, for a little bit of time. But I think people are starting to wake up and be like, all right, I got the whole, going outside and not wearing a mask and doing all this stuff taken away from me for a year or so. And I don't want to, waste any of that time anymore. So I think the metaverse is kind of crock of shit. And, I think this whole Libra, Diem, all this kind of stuff is just like a mute point for a company that's kind of reaching for an apple at the top of the tree. It's never going to get there unless the apple falls right in their lap, which I don't think it's going to. So, I mean, we'll see. I'm just not very bullish on Facebook, not very bullish on the metaverse, and I don't think they're going to implement Bitcoin in there until it's basically too late, and they're going to be trying to save themselves.